Hola. Okay, so in this tutorial we're going to look at conjugation of AR verbs. Now, we first have to look at something called the infinitive. So if you think of a verb in English like speak, so you can say speak, I speak, you speak, we speak, they speak, he speaks, she speaks, you've got speak and speaks, then you've got spoke. You've also got I've spoken, the spoken language or something, so you've also got spoken, and then you've got speaking. I'm speaking, I was speaking. So you can see that from one verb you've got quite a few, it varies quite a lot. So if you see a word in the dictionaries, if you're learning English, you see the word speaking, you want to know what it means. You look it up in the dictionary, you're not going to find that. Well, you might find it, but you wouldn't find it as a verb. So if you find the dictionary form of the verb, it's going to be the infinitive. So you'd find speak, or it might be to speak. So to speak is infinitive. So in English, we use the infinitive when we say things like, I want to speak. So to speak, when it comes after another verb often. But you don't say I should to speak, you say I should speak. So in English you've got two forms of the infinitive. You've got to speak and speak, to go, go, to work, work. Okay, so if we look at the infinitive in Spanish, so you've got regular verbs. A lot of verbs, most verbs, whether irregular or regular, will end. So you've got a verb like to speak, hablar, to study, estudiar. You've got to cook, cocinar, to work, trabajar, listen, escuchar. Okay, so the thing that all of these have got in common is they end with AR. So we call these AR verbs. It's the biggest group of verbs, so I think, I've not counted all the verbs, but the first verbs you'll learn will tend to be AR verbs. I think that perhaps, no, I can't really say, but as far as I can see, there are more AR verbs than there are the other two groups. So for the other groups, you've got things like comer. Another group of verbs would be things like beber, escribir. Okay, so you've got another group which ends ER verbs, another group which ends IR, so they're IR verbs. So you've got AR, ER, IR. Now, as the AR verbs is the biggest group, it's best to kind of learn those first, because they're the ones you're more likely to come across. And also, if you learn the AR verb conjugation, the pattern, then you get that perfect, then you can move on to the ER, learn that perfectly, then move on to the IR. If you try to learn them all together, you might get mixed up between them. So what we can do is see how they conjugate. By how they conjugate, I mean how, when you say I speak, how do you write that? And you speak. So if we look at the pronouns, I, yo, you, tú, he, él, she, ella. Then we've got we, nosotros. If it's all men or mixed, nosotros. If it's all female, it'll be nosotras. And then we've already seen two meaning you. The plural of that is vosotros, like yous. And if it's all female, vosotras. So as long as there's one man in the group you're talking to, it's vosotros. And then él, he, and the plural of él, they. If there's at least one man, ellos. Ella meaning she, ellas when it's all female. But there are more pronouns. So this means you, and these mean yous when you're speaking informally to somebody you know well, somebody you're on good friendly terms with, or a child, or maybe somebody a lot younger than yourself. But there's a more formal you, which is, so singular is usted, and the plural of usted is ustedes. And you can see that it goes in the same group as el, ella, and ustedes goes with ellos and ellas. So whatever the way that el and ella conjugates, usted also conjugates, no matter what the verb, without exception. And the same with ellos and ellas. Ustedes, the formal plural version of you, conjugates in the same way as ellos and ellas. So if we take the verb hablar as a typical regular AR verb, what we do is we take off the ending, the AR, and we're left with H-A-B-L, or H-A-B-L in Spanish. So we write that in all the way down. So all of the every time in the present simple, it's all of them start the same way. Okay, and then it goes hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, habla. Often you won't use the pronoun. You can say él habla, ella habla, yo hablo. Most of the time it's not necessary. You might have to use it instead of saying habla, because habla could mean he speaks, she speaks, or you speak. And hablan could mean they speak or you speak. So if there's any confusion, then you could use it just to avoid that ambiguity. So I think the best way to learn it is just to drill it and just keep on doing it. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, hablan. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, hablan. So as long as you know that, any regular AR verb will just conjugate in the same way. So if we look at, escuchar. Escuchar means to listen. So it would just be a case of changing the stem. So take off the AR, the stem is escuch. So I'm not going to write it in every single time, just do those. So it would be escucho, escuchas, escucha, escuchamos, escucháis, escucha. Escucho, escuchas, escucha, escuchamos, escucháis, escucha. I think it's if you're English, if English is your first language and you have to learn this, it seems a lot compared to English, whereas in English it would just be I speak, you speak, we speak, they speak. The only one that's different would be the he and she speaks. So that's much easier in comparison. But for most foreign languages, most European foreign languages will behave like this, like Spanish, with different forms for each pronoun. So I think it's just something that's not, it doesn't come easy to. It's just something that's a lot more, complicated than in English. But it's, as long as you've learned that, any AR verb that's regular will just conjugate the same way. So if we look at another important verb like trabajar. Trabajar means to work. So it would be, if we just put in the new stem, it would be all of this up to the ending. So trabajo, trabajas, trabaja, trabajamos, trabajáis, trabajan. Okay, so in another tutorial you can look at another two separate tutorials. We're going to look at conjugation of ER verbs and also IR verbs. But I think the most important thing is to nail this and get this, really, so that you can just, straight away. So it almost becomes instant. Okay, so Hasta la próxima.